I am very, very frustrated with DC Comics as a whole, but specifically right here with the state of Batman. We've got 2 comic books we're going to talk about today. Detective Comics 1056, the Joker number, I believe it's 13. And we're also going to talk about that Superman Son of Kal-El thing that apparently people disagree with me on. Obviously, Josh is a big Nightwing fan, so I'm going to let him chime in. But we do have Josh McDonald, the DC aficionado, the Batman historian, the biggest Batman fan that I know. Both of these comic books were absolute dog shit for their own unique ways. I was so put off and so pissed by the time I was done reading the 2 of them. I said, we're not reviewing any more Batman comics because I just ain't got it in me to read another bullshit comic. You
didn't like these?
No.
I loved them.
I was fucking furious.
No, I did not love them. I'm joking. No, I thought they were both problematic. Or like I same thing. I read 3 books last night and I stopped after that. So this morning when I woke up, I was begrudgingly like, fuck, I don't know if I want to read more right now. So I sent you the message and I was like, what are we talking about today? Because I don't know if I have it in me in this moment to keep reading. Thankfully, the 3 books that I read, 2 of them we are covering. So,
well, we're actually covering all 3.
All 3,
we're gonna have a short conversation about that. We're not gonna I'll be honest, I'm not gonna really review these. I'm just gonna talk about this is an airing of grievances, Josh.
Okay, yeah, air it out.
What shit that pissed me off? First of all, Detective Comics 1056. We're on the 3rd fucking artist now. Not Ivan Rice is on this one. It does not look slick like it did in the beginning. Mariko Tamaki fucking lost the goal or whatever she was trying to do with this comic book. Yeah. And there's just these weird shit that comes out. We knew the guy was going to die. That happens in the freegating, and the story itself starts out fine, and then all of a sudden, fucking Harley Quinn shows up, and she's like, "Hey, Puddin', I'm really Harley. I was acting like I was not really the Harley Quinn, but I had mental illness, and now I'm in the book." I was like, "Is this the real fucking? No way."
Yeah. Okay, so I will start off by saying when I opened this book and started reading it, I would say the first few pages I actually enjoyed. And I was like, all right, we're going somewhere new. It's fresh. It seems to be written relatively well. It's fast paced. There's action. It started kind of leaning a direction that I didn't think the book was going to go. So I was like, you know what? She could save this. And then same thing, Harley Quinn shows up and gives that like, oh yeah, you saw me earlier as a crazy person pretending to be Harley Quinn, but I'm actually Harley Quinn, but nobody here knew that. And I'm like, you're in a fucking insane asylum. You would have records. They would know. I mean, yeah, Batman could have it was just bad. And I did not want her there. And from that moment on, this book was just like a downhill slide. It
only gets worse from there. That was the appetizer for the shit sandwich that you're about to eat when you read this fucking comic book. So that's just right there. I was like, are you kidding me? I can't fucking escape this character that I just so dislike right now. Just what DC Comics are doing with him. I talked about that yesterday. Yeah, it was with Harley Quinn 12 and Harley Quinn being killed or whatever. Yeah, fuck Harley. And then all of a sudden, I disliked Fear State in Batman a lot. I did not think that James Tynion went out with a fucking bang on Fear State. And next thing you know, the fucking villain from fucking Fear State that Batman already defeated ends up being the main fucking villain in this book. Are you kidding me? That stupid version of Scarecrow?
Yeah,
talking about Fear State again.
The moment I saw the needle hands, I verbally said, "Oh dear God, please let this be someone wearing his costume." And I was like hoping against all odds it was like Stephanie in the costume for whatever reason, and it wasn't. It's Scarecrow, and I was just like, I don't want this right now. I do not want this at all. Like I had my fill. I'm done. I want to forget Fear State, not revisit it.
We're talking about an event that was already 5 or 6 issues too long, that wasted so much of my time, and to bring back the villain that had already been defeated literally weeks ago and put him into this fucking thing. I was like, this can't get any fucking worse, Josh. My fucking blood's boiling. Harley Quinn's already pissed me off. Scarecrow feels like the coup de grace, and it turns out it's not.
Nope.
DC Comics had one more final nut punch for me. It was absolutely insane. The selling point of Shadows of the Bat is the fact that Batman is not in Gotham. Whether it's a good selling point or not, this is what they told you the book was. Batman was indisposed, and his family was going to have to take care of this crisis on their own. Could they do it? there's this actual cool scene. I was shocked that it was coming off so well, where Nightwing has been indisposed with fucking Scarecrow, whatever. But once he throws him out the window, it's actually pretty cool. He's like going down, and they almost hint that Batwoman is going to be able to get up to the top floor and save him. Yeah. But she doesn't. She does something smart. She like breaks out a window and she like leaps out of the building to catch him. I was like, whoa, this is actually really cool.
And she does catch him. She does get a hold of him.
But she drops him.
Yeah.
And in the background, you see the fucking Batwing.
Yeah.
And Batman shows up and saves him.
Yep. Look, I hate to say I told you so, but before this book came out, I told you this was going to happen. They're going to have the Bat family. Something's going to happen. It's going to go down. They're not going to be able to handle it. Batman's going to swoop in and save the day.
The hook of the book wasn't whether it was a good idea. And I said from the beginning, I was like, this is stupid. It's supposed to be a Batman title. But if you're fucking going to do it, go all in on it and just deliver what you promised that you said you were going to do. Stop subverting expectations. I guess they didn't subvert your expectations. You thought Batman was coming back. I thought they were actually going to fulfill the story that they said they were going to. And it's just like, they had such a cool moment that was actually going to highlight Batwoman, who never gets any shine. She's going to snatch fucking Nightwing out of the air and save his life.
Yep.
And she couldn't do it, and Batman had to do it for her.
Yeah, and it's a shame because as much of a mess as this book is, it was setting up these supporting characters to show how capable they actually are. I mean, yes, what's going on is a madhouse, but they're also trying to break in, and then they get in there, and half of them are in their civilian identities, or at least, their face is showing. They've got like a fake name. So they can't just completely go like badass in front of people. And that could have been interesting. And you could have actually had some the one redeeming thing could have been like, all right, we redeemed some of these characters to show that they can actually kick ass. They don't necessarily need Batman. And then you did the opposite. So Nightwing, you mentioned Nightwing getting indisposed here. And I thought they actually handled that pretty well because he was up against Mr. Freeze. He slips down an elevator shaft, falls. It knocks him unconscious. And then he kind of gets taken from there. That's believable. I'm down with that. I'm on board. It's like, okay, who's going to step up now? Batwoman comes to the call. She's going to do it. And then Batman swoops in and ruins everything.
Just castrates the entire Bat family right in front of all the readers on that one. So it felt like I was watching, what is it? The Last Jedi all over again. And I'm like, I've gotten through this terrible movie, but Finn is about to save the day. And then he got fucking, Rose Tico'd. Yeah. It just ruins the moment. And it's like, there's no need for that. There's another book. The Joker.
Before you jump on that, I did want to ask your opinion because you didn't mention Psycho Pirate.
He's a joke.
He's a joke, but he spends this whole issue talking about how he's supposed to be keeping things in control and he lost control and he needs help to get things under control when all he has to do is put the fucking mask on and be like, sleep.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
None.
Speaking of not making any sense, we'll finally get over to the Joker. James Tynion, this thing has gone off the tracks not quite as rapidly as Shadows of the Bat. We're 13 issues in. I believe we're on the second artist here. Giuseppe Capicola is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I did a video at the very beginning of this year, or maybe it was the very end of last year. Either one, I talked about the 10 new characters that have been introduced at DC, Marvel, and Independence that I thought had real legs on it that could be potential long-term impacts on comic books. Yep. One of those characters was the entire Sampson family from this book, which I personally thought were like the saving grace, the redeeming factor of the book. Was they'd introduced this weird Texan oil billionaire cannibalistic family that seemed really dangerous. And we finally get him here today. And James Tynion just makes him into an enormous joke. They've got buffet trays of eyeballs and they're eating them off and there's fingers in the salad and all this really stupid stuff. And when they finally get to start fighting, Lady Bane's whooping their ass and they're trying to fork her because they still want to eat her.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought the Sampson family was actually a great setup. They were weird. They were creepy. They felt like a threat because they had numbers to a degree and they were understated. And then you get here and it just becomes, I think Tynion was trying to be edgy and it just came across hokey. Like
it came off as a parody or something.
Yeah, like the buffet scene you're talking about, I was just like, this looks stupid. Like I get what you're going for, but it didn't land. And then the moment you get the altercation, I can't remember the ones Bubba, whatever the brother or the guy is, goes to attack Vengeance, aka Lady Bane, and she hits him and decapitates him with one hit, which, all right, cool, badass, but she's way too strong here. But yeah, they just plow through him like it's nothing, and they don't matter. And again, it's characters that could have been used for years and years and years. And
why invest in anything nowadays? Even if they introduce something cool, they're going to do something to just undercut them. There's another moment in here. I don't know how you feel about this one. Joker has this really interesting monologue with this grill master, where he's almost, I don't know, daring him to cook him.
Yeah.
Which felt kind of Jokerish, right?
It felt 100% Jokerish.
I was like, this is pretty fucking good. I was like, this is the best Joker in this comic book, the Joker that James Tynion has written.
Absolutely.
Like, this is fucking great. Like, this is weird. Feels like Joker if he was trapped in a cage and thought he was about to get barbecued. You know, I could grill myself better than you, kind of weird stuff. And then he ends up having this weird other conversation with Lady Bane, and it's a different character. He's like, you don't want to kill me. You're mad at yourself and all this weird stuff. And I'm like, who the fuck is this character? And why is he wearing a Joker suit?
Yeah, this book has, I've complained about Tynion writing the Joker all the way going back to Joker War. I don't think he has a good grasp on the character. And when he's in the cage and that cook's cooking all the stuff, I was like, that is the Joker. Like that is because it's the Joker trying to get under your skin. He's trying to like fuck with your mind. That way you're not focused. And the moment you're not focused, he's going to make his move. 100% the Joker, written great. And then you get the complete opposite. It's like the groveling, but not the groveling type of Joker that he's like overdoing it. It's like, he's like, oh, no, you don't want to do this. It's like he's trying to reason, and that's not the Joker.
So much promise for the Sampson family. It feels like they were misused. And this, like I said, just a waste of this great Joker moment.
Yep.
By just reminding you that this isn't really the Joker. Apparently that was an act, and the real Joker is this weird thing that Tynion's been writing, which has been completely uneven. So I was very frustrated with the Batman comics. That also extends kind of over into Superman. We've had this Nightwing Superman crossover. Obviously, Tom Taylor is the writer of Nightwing and Superman, and Nightwing is supposed to be the mentor of John. That's what his father wanted before he went off to World. And in my opinion, Tom Taylor has really ham-fisted these two characters together by introducing this weird moment that should never exist, where he was lost and he found him and gave him a lollipop, and he added this weird events in here. I personally found a lot of it off-putting, creepy, weird, however you want to put it. And a lot of people kind of disagree with me. I had a video on it yesterday. You have read more Nightwing than I have.
Yeah.
What did you think about this?
I mean, look, it's weird to a degree, and I think the only thing that makes it odd is the fact that, you know, Nightwing gives 16-year-old John Kent a lollipop, and I understand what Tom Taylor was going for. I just feel like there are so many better ways that he could have done it that actually made sense, as opposed to like, oh, and if you want to have a thing where you helped my dad find me when I got lost when I was a kid, and when I was like still panicking, you gave me a sucker and it meant a lot. Like if you wanted to have that, fine. But what would have made more sense if you had John Kent comment on the fact that the people that he cares about the most and loves and respects the most, his parents, Damian Wayne, all look at Dick with such regard and such high esteem, and I have respect of you because of that. I think it would have played much better. And you could just say, like, you know, everything I hear about you is so great and I want to be around you, or, you know, whatever, anything like that. And it would have made more sense, and it would have built up the other characters as well. But then you have this moment where they make Superman look like an idiot.
Yes. You
have Batman and Nightwing save the day. Nightwing's in his red suit for whatever reason. It's a new 52 suit. This Superman and John Kent and them didn't come until like the very end after that. So it just doesn't make sense, because part of the whole rebirth thing was, this is not the Superman from our Earth. We don't know him. We don't know if we can trust him. So going back to New 52 time period and saying like, oh no, you're my closest ally. Please help me find my son. It was bad. It was really bad. I know what Taylor was going for. I don't think he did it well. And even his approach with that issue was so just campy.
The idea of John Kent was sitting there for 6 years hoping Nightwing could actually come and save him, and give him a lollipop, to let him know it was okay. But like, his fucking dad is Superman.
I mean, realistically, he would be thinking, I wish my dad would come save me.
Yes.
And if
he
you
wouldn't expect anyone else to save him. He's literally in space. Who could go out in space and save people that he knows personally? His father.
Oh, yeah. And like, you could have even had a moment of like, my dad said, present day, my dad said, y'all be keep an eye on me. I'm glad it's you because of the reasons I mentioned earlier. If you throw that in there, it would have been way more heartfelt. It would have been way more believable. And I would have been like, fuck yeah. But I was like, fuck no.
It's just weird stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think it really landed, but this has been a weird week for DC Comics. The Trial of the Amazons came out. That sucked. There were some good parts of that Superman Son of Kal-El issue, but I think it falls apart by the hand-fisted nature of the way he's trying to push that relationship together. These Batman Comics books sucks. There's a Vita Ayala story in Urban Legends. Don't read it. So I don't know. Hopefully it'll get better before it gets worse, but we also have the new replacement Justice League announced. So if you're wanting more details about what I thought was creepy about that Superman Son of Kal-El Nightwing crossover, the video came out yesterday. I talked about it in full. It's pretty short. Definitely check this out if you want to see exactly what I was talking about, see the pictures of it, because I definitely go over it in full.